Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host Eric Smith, and today I'm talking about Vespers by Jeff Rovin. Say your prayers. There's a bat on the cover. Look at that. It's a bat. I wonder what this book could be about. It's about killer bats. There's your there's your nutshell right there. Um, so for the too long didn't watch folks, I gave this 5 out of 5, I believe, on Goodreads. It's been a little while since I finished reading it and gave it a rating, but I believe I gave it 5 out of 5. I loved it. Uh, Regular viewers of this channel will know why, because it's killer animals. My favorite subgenre of horror. Uh, Now, that doesn't give it a free pass. If it was poorly written, if it was a bad book, I wouldn't just give it a 5 out of 5 because it's killer animals. But that's not the case here. It is a well written book. And what we have basically, we start off a nice cold open. This follows the general formula of killer animal stories around the world. Cold open, we get some people being attacked by bats. Then we're introduced to our two main characters. We have a cop. I don't remember their names because it has been a little while since I read this. Let's see. Oh, apparently. Oh, there we go. Detective first grade Robert Gentry is our cop. So we meet him. We learn a little bit about him. He works in the accident unit, essentially. That's not what it's called, but that's essentially what it is. He had been an undercover detective for a large number of years. And, as usual, at least in fiction, that didn't go necessarily well. So now he's working in accidents. So we meet him. He sees the news about this bat attack. Then we meet Nancy Joyce, which annoyed me that she has two first names. But she is a zoologist specializing in bats that works for the museum. And so we meet her, get a little bit of her backstory. This is all going to be fleshed out. A lot of backstory being fleshed out throughout the book, which is enjoyable. So we meet, these are our two main characters, the cop, the scientist. She gets a call from the news, essentially. Can you come down to where this bat attack happened? Be on the news, talk to us about bats. And so she does, and she investigates and discovers some things. The cop is watching this on the news, and he takes an interest in the story a bit because he works in accidents, which is weird things happen. I mean, straight up accidents, but also accidental things. But anyway, more bat attacks, more investigation. Things get crazy. The back of the book says something is loose on the streets of Manhattan, nesting in the subways, living in the building walls. Creatures so vicious, so insatiable, so deadly, it'll take more than a wing and a prayer to stop them. It'll take a miracle. I don't know about that. There's no supernatural element here. Spoilers? It's just good old bats eating people. I like the writing style. It's nice, it's clear, it's descriptive. Some of it can get kind of gruesome, but it's not over the top. The main characters are well drawn, fleshed out. They work well together. And then there's lots of incidental characters that are also very interesting, good and bad. Although there's not really. I'm trying to think if there's, your mind goes to Jaws. Is there a mayor type figure? And there are doubters to some of what's going on, especially some conclusions that our main characters come to, and there are people that are skeptical. But there's maybe only one character that I would compare maybe to the mayor in Jaws, but they don't have enough power to quite be the mayor. That level of sort of threat. People say the mayor is the real bad guy of Jaws. This person doesn't really have that kind of clout. But I've read some Jeff Rovin before. He's written one of my least favorite novelizations. I believe that was Jeff Rovin. But so this book I've had for a little while, and I've kind of put it off. I've been a little scared. I don't know what I was scared of. It's not bats. I love bats. Bats are cool. Because this was great. Just it moves along at a quick pace. We get these character beats, and then we get bats killing people. And we get some more character stuff and investigation, and we're learning little bits and pieces as we move along. As our main characters are learning, we're learning. And then we get more bats attacking people. And as I said, you know I love animals killing people. It's my favorite thing in fiction. If any watchdogs are out there, any whistleblowers, in fiction is where I want my animals killing people. There's a sticker on the back of this book that I can't remove. It's a barcode sticker. And so it's covering up on the back of the book here where it says soon to be a major motion picture. I may have to look into that. I did not realize. I know there are killer bat movies. I have somewhere. Don't know where I put it. I have another killer bat book that's been made into a movie. Nightwing, I believe it's called. But I may have known this was made into a movie. Maybe it hasn't. Just because it says it was soon to be a major motion picture doesn't mean that ever got made. I'll have to look into that. I apologize for not having my shit together and knowing about this potential major motion picture. But that's all neither here nor there, because it's a book review, not a movie review. Vespers, well written, fast paced, great characters, killer bats, follows the killer animal formula of, again, we start with a bat attack. We're introduced to our characters, interspersed with their dealings and their investigations. We get more sort of random bat attacks. And then eventually our characters are going to encounter the bats. But essentially be defeated. I mean, they're not like eaten or anything. They're our main characters. But they don't solve the problem at that point. More random bat attacks, more investigation, more looking into things until, of course, the giant climactic animals versus humans ending. But it's a formula that works. If the story is well written, if the characters are interesting, if the attacks are fun, you don't need to mix it up. It's nice when an author does, but it's not necessary. So, once again, Vespers, Jeff Rovin, 5 out of 5 stars. Great bat attack book. And there's some things I've left out. Some things I haven't even mentioned. So I'm going to leave that for you to discover on your own. So that is Vespers. Once again, if I were going to recommend any books, it would be animal attack books, which I've done many, many times, and it's always the same animal attack books. So, maybe what are your recommendations? What are your favorite animal attack books? I've probably covered this because I've reviewed a number of animal attack books because it is my favorite subgenre. And so we've gone over all of this, but you can never talk too much about animals killing people and eating people. So let's talk about it in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post spoiler warning. Try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, I'll have links for my Instagram and Bluesky in the description below. And that's all I've got. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith. And until next time, read more books.